The establishment line seems to be that if you don't think all the immigrants coming here from the third world are going to turn into rational humanists in a few years, or better yet, maintain their own cultures, which remember are better than yours, you're evil and racist and stupid. However, websites like X have that uncanny ability to show us exactly what the establishment doesn't want us to see. That's probably why Keir Starmer doesn't like it very much. And on that note, a video is doing the rounds on X where a Muslim man with a Northern English accent is very upset because a Muslim woman isn't wearing adequate Muslim clothing. Now, his language is quite spicy, so apologies for that.
This here is not salwar kameez. This salwar kameez has been made to turn into for the streets. I'll explain to you why. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Sis, why the fuck is your salwar 3/4? 3/4 the salwar, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, those ankles could really drive a man crazy. He wouldn't be responsible for anything he might do.
This is crazy, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. Why the fuck do sisters do this shit? If you're gonna wear a salwar kameez, wear it with class. This ain't classy. This is trashy.
Now, it's not something I'd like my wife to wear, but I think she looks quite nice, doesn't she? But then I guess I'm an evil bigot who doesn't understand Islamic female dressing styles. At least that's what The Guardian tells me.
How the fuck have the sisters made salwar kameez for the streets?
Now, just to be clear, I'm not exactly fond of modern Western women wearing next to nothing either. I think it's incredibly sad that they see no real value in themselves other than their sexual prowess. Of course, it's feminism that's egged them on in that regard. But I think there can be a happy medium between Western materialistic nihilism and the suffocating Islamic dress codes. Now, I don't want to preach too much, but that line should be rooted in love, i.e. from our Christian tradition historically, which has been completely corrupted in this day and age. But the point I'm making is, this man doesn't seem to be motivated by love so much as a sense of anger and almost hatred towards this woman. And this leads to the question, what are we importing here? It was only the other day a Muslim father beat his daughter with an iron bar because he thought she was meeting a boy before her exams. Oh, and that guy avoided jail time and only got a fine, by the way, and this is after the deluded Yvette Cooper stated that misogyny will now be treated as extremism, even terrorism, by the UK government. But of course what they mean by this is demonising young men who have no masculine role models and gravitate towards people like Andrew Tate, while religions like Islam get a free pass, A, because they're frightened of Muslims, and B, because they have a woke ideology that tells them anything that's non-Western is innately oppressed and good, therefore you must leave it alone and celebrate it no matter what it does. This is why when proud feminist and Labour MP Angela Rayner goes looking for the Muslim vote, she covers herself up. And by the way, talking of Angela Rayner, here she is partying on holiday despite being Deputy Prime Minister, giving Nigel Farage hell for not being in Clacton, and having a go at Boris Johnson for going on holiday when he did the same thing. But remember, Angela Rayner is a good, moral, progressive person, meaning she's better than you, and she deserves a break. And talking of people who think they're better than everybody else, here's the refugees welcome crowd getting very upset with someone for filming them. They don't seem too concerned about what we're inviting into modern Britain though, do they? But then such people are left-wing and they get preferential treatment in the UK. We learned that after Jess Phillips said she got fast-tracked by a doctor because she voted for a ceasefire in Palestine. Yep, you got that right. Essentially, if you vote for the ethnic biases of our new arrivals, you'll get preferential treatment on the NHS. Remember, it doesn't matter if you and your ancestors have paid billions into the NHS. You are evil and racist and toxic. Immigrants prop up our NHS, remember? Except the 1.6 million migrants who aren't even working and cost the taxpayer 8.5 billion a year, as well as all the immigrants that use the NHS as well. But forget about all that. Don't be a bigot. And talking of bigotry, we now have orders from the state telling teachers they must challenge quote-unquote whiteness in schools. Of course, ignore the manifest contradiction that if we really did have a white privileged society, you really wouldn't have government mandates enforcing the teaching of anti-whiteness. But due to this poisonous ideology, some of our new arrivals can be quite open about their seething dislike of whites.
A woman who claims to be feminist can have an issue with my hijab when clearly it's my choice. I'm telling you it's my choice. But for a white woman, not only am I there to show my talents, but I have to make her like me. I have to convince her that I am worthy of existing.
Yeah, because we all know there's a massive epidemic of white women going around murdering Muslim women because they think they're not worthy of existing.
And you have to be almost her puppet and make her feel good about saving you. Thank you for existing. Thank you for saving my life. Without you, I would die. It's so weird. Like, you're not saving me, you weirdo. I'm here for a job.
Yeah, I think we know who the real weirdo is here, but then at least she's honest about only being here for money. But then at least she's not here for the reason some of her Islamic brethren are. There are videos cropping up every day of them harassing women across towns and cities in Europe. Suddenly feminism and misogyny goes out the window then. Remember, ladies, you are not as worthy as Muslim men, and Islamophobia, that will always trump your social justice causes. But we know social justice only really works one way. This was evidenced in an appalling way recently when an Indian made it to the CEO of a company, fired all the staff, and then hired 1,000 Indians. But remember, that's diverse and inclusive. If a white European tries it, they are evil and toxic and don't belong in modern Europe. But at least we can still go down the pub and have a pint and a cigarette. That's at least until Keir Starmer notices and orders an airstrike on you. But the one thing I can agree with Keir Starmer on is things are going to have to get a lot worse before they get better. These are just my views, however. Do let me know what you think down below, and do consider subscribing to the channel.